Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. Rick Lagina arrives on island as 2018 treasure hunt begins. The Curse of Oak Island's treasure hunting operations for 2018 have begun. After Rick Lagina and other members of the team arrived on the island, along with vast amounts of equipment. Rick took time out to pose with fans this week, including newlyweds Bernard and Natalie Roussel, who were visiting the area while on honeymoon from New Brunswick. Natalie told Monsters and critics how Rick was all smiles and joked with them about whether they had a map of where the treasure was. She said, "We were on a brief honeymoon and decided to go see Oak Island again. We had been there a couple of years ago at the same time, but they were closed. When we got there, the gift shop was open, and we were inside looking for tours. The 2018 tours were sold out in 2 hours. We bought some souvenirs and were on our way when my husband Bernard spotted Rick and started running towards him. He was so excited as he has been a huge fan of the show since the beginning. Since then, I have gradually been becoming a fan as well. Rick was very welcoming, shook our hands, and asked the creator of the show to take our picture. He then joked around and asked if we had the map of where the treasure was. It was such a good encounter. He is as friendly in person as he is on the show. When we took the pic, he made us say treasure." Fan Courtney Spencer also met Rick on the island this week and posted a photo of her encounter on Instagram with the caption, "I'll die happy now." Craig Tester and Jack Beckley were also spotted on the island and posed for a photo with 2 young fans who were on a tour of the area with their family. Karen Publicover, who lives across the causeway from Oak Island, told how filming for the show began earlier this month, when a drone used to film aerial shots was spotted in the air on May 11, before a convoy of trucks arrived that same day. Throne cinematography company Atlantic Aerial Works also posted an image of the Oak Island Interpretive Center on their Instagram, saying, "Back on set filming Season 6 of The Curse of Oak Island." Nova Scotian company CFM, who provide a range of services from custom metal fabrication to custom machining, also visited the island, as shown in these pics from Karen's Oak Island from the other side of the Causeway Facebook page. More equipment then began arriving yesterday, including rollers and excavation machinery, while work was also being carried out on docks next to the causeway. The arrival of the equipment comes after several severe nor'easter storms battered the island over the winter. The treasure hunt usually stops every winter when cold weather makes searching efforts more difficult, and several members of the team have been away from the island until now. Marty Lagina was seen last month at his Mary Vineyards winery near Traverse City, Michigan. The Curse of Oak Island is set to return for Season 6 in the fall, after a string of incredible discoveries were made during Season 5. They included a rhodolite garnet brooch and a medieval lead cross, which executive producer Kevin Burns recently told us appears to date from at least the 1300s or earlier. Other major discoveries last season included human bones and pearlware pottery in the Money Pit area. The arrival of equipment on the island comes as legendary treasure hunter and Oak Island team member Dan Blankenship celebrated his 95th birthday this week. History yesterday confirmed to Monsters and critics that filming for Season 6 was underway. As the first golden rays of the morning sun stretched across the rugged coastlines of Oak Island in 2018, the familiar hum of anticipation filled the air. The island's ancient trees whispered stories of the past, as though they too were aware of the gravity of what was about to unfold. In this stillness, a boat approached the island, its prow cutting through the calm waters of the North Atlantic, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of one man. The man whose life had become entwined with Oak Island's mystery, Rick Lagina. Rick stood at the bow of the boat, his hands firmly gripping the railing. The cool breeze tugged at his jacket, and as he gazed at the island ahead, he couldn't help but feel a sense of reverence. This was no ordinary place. For over 200 years, it had drawn men to its shores with the promise of untold riches and hidden treasures. Some had left broken, Others never returned. Yet here he was, beginning another season of what could be the most significant treasure hunt of his life. As the boat docked, Rick disembarked, his boots crunching against the gravel of the island's shoreline. The familiar scent of salt and pine filled his senses as he surveyed the land, which had become both a battlefield and a sanctuary for him. His younger brother, Marty, would soon join him. But for now, Rick was alone with his thoughts, and with the island. It had been a long and grueling journey, spanning decades of research, heartbreak, and fleeting glimpses of hope. But Rick was not one to be deterred. This year felt different. This year felt like the beginning of something monumental. The island greeted him with an eerie stillness, as though it were waiting. Rick, a man of patience and contemplation, had learned to listen to the land, to feel the subtle vibrations beneath his feet. He had spent years studying the various theories, each one stranger than the next: Knights Templar treasure, pirate gold, Marie Antoinette's lost jewels. The possibilities were endless, and yet the island remained tight-lipped, revealing its secrets only in fragments. This year, however, Rick had a feeling deep in his bones that the island was ready to speak again. He made his way toward the heart of the island, where the rest of the team had begun gathering at the base of the infamous Money Pit. The morning mist clung to the trees, giving the scene an almost ethereal quality. Rick knew every inch of this land, from the swamp, where tantalizing discoveries had been made, to the Smith's Cove area, which had yielded historical artifacts hinting at a deeper narrative. But the Money Pit, this was the place that haunted his dreams. It was where so many others had dug before him, chasing shadows and whispers of gold. Standing there at the lip of the shaft, Rick closed his eyes for a moment, letting the weight of the history wash over him. He thought back to that fateful day as a young boy when he first read the Reader's Digest article about Oak Island. That spark of curiosity had grown into a flame that consumed his life, and now, all these years later, he was here again, standing on the edge of something grand. As he opened his eyes, he saw his brother Marty approaching, his gait brisk and confident as always. Marty's mind was pragmatic, rooted in logic and the reality of costs, numbers, and machinery. But Rick was the dreamer. The two made a formidable pair, a blend of science and sentiment. "Back again," Marty said with a wry smile. As he extended a hand to his older brother, Rick shook it firmly, nodding. "Feels different this time, doesn't it?" Rick replied, scanning the horizon, as if waiting for the island to give its approval. Marty chuckled, his eyes following Rick's gaze. "Maybe. Or maybe we're just getting closer to losing our minds." Either way, Rick said with a grin, "We're here." And so, the 2018 season began in earnest. The team gathered around for the briefing: Craig Tester, the ever-reliable engineer; Alex Lagina, the next generation of treasure hunters; and Jack Begley, whose passion for the mystery rivaled Rick's own. There was an unspoken sense of determination among them all. They knew the risks, the sacrifices, and the frustrations that lay ahead, but they also knew that the rewards could be beyond imagination. The first order of business was the exploratory drilling in the Money Pit area. New technology had given them insights into underground anomalies, voids in chambers that could hold anything from centuries-old treasure to more traps. The drill's hum echoed through the woods as it began its descent into the earth. Rick watched closely, his heart pounding in sync with the drill's rhythm. Each second felt like an eternity as they waited for the first sign of something, anything, that could validate the years of toil.